Oh. Sorry, we'll start in just a second. I'm getting a couple of things sorted out here. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna try to I'm gonna try to look at it kind of from both perspectives about things that I could have done better, things that he could have done better, things that I feel like I did right, should have done different, like whatever, right? I'm trying explaining some of my thinking in some of these games. I should have done this the day after I played, but really not been streaming much. Kind of needed a break from StarCraft. But as a lot of you guys know that we're watching live, before I started this series, I turned off my mic, turned off the chat, and just tried to focus. Something I don't do often enough. It's not something I would like to do often to begin with, but I should do it, you know, every now and then, I think. I think it's good for me to practice a little more seriously or play a little more seriously sometimes. So in this first game, I was kind of practicing my boosting of this mineral patch a little bit, and I think I had a pretty good gas timing and maybe a decent factory timing as well, because I don't quite remember. I actually wanted to do a 2-fact to start off the series, but I don't think Polypoid's really that good of a map for it, because of the high grounds and stuff. So I decided I would just play a more kind of normal standard game for that reason. Because depending on spawns, you can get like completely screwed. Oh yeah, because my boosting was pretty good, I guess I did an 11 gas, or I felt like it was going pretty well. But the gas timing's actually not that great if I was boosting well. Because I would want like... I mean 133 is fine. Actually, that's not that bad. I was kind of getting into boosting a little bit, or sorry, the 11 gas a little bit more often here recently. There's a couple things that I do like about it. But I was kind of wanting to be aggressive. I wanted to get the Vulture out pretty quick. And then it actually kind of worked out a little bit. So we had, what, like a 223 factory. So it's decent for 11 gas. It's not amazing, but it's decent. And this means my Vulture technically gets out, you know, 6, 7, 8 seconds faster than it would normally. Which I was thinking could allow, especially because it's cross-spawn, could allow my Vulture to get out without it being spotted out on the map. So what I was thinking was, since I had a pretty good factory timing and it's cross-spawn, that I can get my Vulture out unseen, potentially. And if I do that, I was thinking I'll turn into a bit of a push, right? Wait, does he actually see me? Wow, okay. Well, I'm completely blind, and I didn't even know that I went past this Vulture, so I'm just a moron. That's actually pretty funny. Don't know what I was looking at or what I was focused on, but I went past this Dragoon. Yes, I said Vulture. Well, that's kind of funny and sad. So, here I'm just thinking, I thought he didn't know that my Vulture was out on the map early, because I'm an idiot. And I wasn't even sure about the natural pathing of the Goon on this map, because I vetoed this map. I don't like playing this map TVP specifically, so I started vetoing it. I didn't realize the Goon would path here. I actually thought it would come from this side naturally, so that's why I cut up here instead of going this way. So maybe a little bit of ignorance on my part. Or it could have been that he just manually did it, but I'm pretty sure. I doubt he would have done that. So I was thinking, alright, well, I got this Vulture out on the map. Let's do, essentially like a tank push. But then he didn't show up. Like his goon did go back home. So here I was thinking, okay, his goons aren't going to be on the map then. Or like at my front, right? But I still laid like these kind of mines, thinking that I might can catch him coming across the map with his observers or something, and I can just spot the movement this way. And I ended up going for this kind of 3-tank push. He actually has like a really good observer timing. It's 3-6. And I just do the push out, this kind of 3-tank push. And this push is more to punish, potentially punish great or like at least trade decently. But so far he is 2-gate, but there's no third nexus or anything coming down. He did send his observers straight across as well instead of clearing mines. So he sees me coming here. And I just trade the Vulture for the Goon and come back home. It's like, okay, I won't worry about it. I don't think I confirmed... I mean, I didn't confirm that he didn't have a third. Which is pretty bad on me. If I'm going to do a push like this, I feel like I should. But I lost the Vulture right away, so that's kind of part of it. It's part of why I didn't. But I think doing a push like this and having... I don't know, actually. I don't do 3-tank very often. I mean, he's only at 6 goons, so realistically with good control I can still do well, but I think part of it, I mean, part of the issue is I lose this Vulture right away, and I don't have any mines reinforcing it, and I probably should go speed, not siege, first, if I'm going to do something like this. But I think my speed timing was also not the best, or like my upgrade timing period. See how much I delay after mines. I mean, everything's fine so far. And then I would go second factory, then add-on, or upgrade. So, should have started it pretty much right away, but I saved for siege instead. I don't think that's really correct. I mean, I'm probably not even doing this push right to begin with. It's a little bit later than it's supposed to be. I mean, I don't know. The timing of it's okay for a Vulture opener. But I figured this was fine. I was like, I killed a Goon for a Vulture. I get my mines set up. We get another Vulture. This was really sloppy losing the Marines like this. And then it's like, okay, I'm just going to go for a setup here on my third. He just didn't really show a lot of units, so I was thinking it was probably expanding. I mean, because the Goon count was kind of low. At least there was no, like, immediate aggression. Skinner obviously is a bit late. I really need to stop getting back into this habit of doing my third factory before Academy. I think this is just a really bad thing to be doing. I end up losing a game later because of that. And there I scan. I think I just scanned the gateway count. I don't remember if I saw the arbiters or not, but it doesn't really matter either way. But we ended up getting like a decent timing on my third, but he goes up to fourth pretty quick, but that's fine. Like 3 base first 4 base is completely fine for me. My upgrades are slow. I was thinking I was just gonna do like because I had like a good third base timing. I was like, I'm just gonna go for like a really heavy, like macro, like push style instead of focusing on upgrades and teching further. And just kind of like semi all-in-ish, I guess. Is that good? Not really, but we have a good supply for 12 minutes. Worse has a good supply too. He goes for this bust. It was ironic. I was planning on pushing and I was getting my hotkeys together. I really gotta start scanning for observers before I do this, because I've lost games like this before where I'm setting up all my hotkeys and then he comes in. Luckily I have all this high ground, so it's fine. But like, I have a really good army right now. Our army supply is actually pretty much the same. Very, very similar, because he's up to 10 workers. Which is typically good for turn. And then he attacks enemy here. We do see it coming and respond with our siege pretty quickly. And he just kind of goes into a bit of a meat grinder. So I'm like, alright, we're gonna push right away then. I think this is like part of the debate sometimes that Protoss players fall into on this map. Is they want to like get like a big army and then like crush everything into this mineral only base, but this is such a hard base to actually break. Especially if you're just kind of like gateway mining it like that. I mean, it got a little bit of a stasis, but it's not a whole lot. It was like, what, 3 or 4 tanks? My supply was very, very high. Now, a couple things I do wrong. Need to send a few vultures to 6 and or 9. Realistically, 6 is the better expansion, not 9 o'clock, because I don't know, he's splitting the map this way. But I just think 6 o'clock is typically easier. The thing is, either way I expand, I need to be expanding like in a straight line towards the corner, because against Arbiters, I don't want to go 9 and 6. This is too hard. I need to go from 6 and then pivot that into these bases, or 9 and pivot into these bases. But I think I end up taking 9 and then start expanding this way, which is iffy. And if we win the fight, get our reinforcements. It's not too bad, right? Factory count looks good. But yeah, like I said, one of my biggest issues, I just need to send like 2 or 3 vultures, clear this, and start an expansion while it's pushing. I'm floating enough money the entire time. So if I take the expansion and drop the starport at the same time, I like this like way, way more. I think the push is good. It's just what I need to be doing behind it as well. I mean, we're on 1-0 with like no future tech right now, right? So it's like I'm forcing myself almost into an all-in, like I have to get a lot of damage done, or we lose, right? And it doesn't have to be this way. Like, I mean, we already kind of were in the first place, but then I like win that fight, and then I can pivot into something, right? So yeah, just clearing this, taking a CC, dropping a starport would have been really, really good here. So I end up clearing just this one base, really, is all I do. But it's also about just getting a lot of value out of these units while I'm macroing behind it. I confirm that he doesn't have top right. I think I scanned and saw bottom left finish there. Or maybe I scanned for the Arbiter. And so he cleans this up, and I'm okay with it. Obviously, realistically, I should have been kind of reinforcing. It's a pretty big mistake, actually. I did build my starport in sci-fi behind that, but I still never expanded. And there was literally no reason for me to. I ended up clearing this one to take this base, but like I said, I think this is fine if I want to go up towards this base, but I don't really even end up doing that. I end up going towards bottom left. So me not having this base that I should have is a really big mistake. The game should be much, much easier than it was. I'm still in like a really good spot, but it just should have been better. That's all. A lot better. Yeah, I mean the upgrades like really suck for what I'm doing. The fact that I'm not expanding while playing these crappy upgrades is unforgivable. And also my tank count's very low right now because I am just on the 2 gas, and then I'm starting to tech and do upgrades now. So really high mineral count, super high vulture count, which is fine. I don't know about doing like a straight up push though with so few tanks, right? That's part of the issue. Yeah, maybe a little more focusing on just being annoying with the vultures, like filling the map with mines and then like slamming a bunch of vultures here or something, right? While I rebuild my tanks. It ends up being okay because he is kind of weakened from what happened. But realistically, this is dangerous in a lot of situations to try and push like this. And so here is kind of what I'm talking about. So I'm pushing bottom left, and I took this expansion, and I didn't like set this up well. It's so far away from like what I'm trying to do like here, right? And then like controlling my army like all out here and then pushing down here. And if I just took this, it'd be so easy to be setting this up with my rally here while I'm pushing here at the same time and expanding here, right? So this was just a dumb base for me to take considering what I wanted to do. And I started running the risk of starving out essentially because I did that, right? But we get up here, we kill this base. And I think all this is fine. I had like a decent minefield set up. Obviously, I should have set my rally more up here instead of here. Yo, what's up, Dustin? I needed to reset my rally points off of this space here, because I have like a bunch of it like back in here, and more up on the high ground here, and this would be a much easier hold. Ended up losing a lot of SCVs, or at least a decent number of SCVs. But like I said, my biggest issue, like I'm taking this base stupidly, and we just didn't take this one for so long. It's just so unnecessary. And then what I'm doing here is more... I'm just trying to chase the army at this point, because like I know our army is going to be much bigger and stronger than his with everything that's happened. So I want to fight his army and not allow him to counter me, right? A couple units end up killing this base, but it's like, I just want to crush his army so I can focus on a proper push. That's essentially all it is. Like, I don't even care if he's mining right now, truthfully. I thought he might even already have, like, these bases getting close to up and running. But if I can crush the army, then I can pivot into killing these bases without having to worry nearly as much. So that's why I end up chasing his army here. To a point. Honestly, though, it's, again, like, my setup could have just been better. And I just could have held that very, very easily. That was just the first game. And then, while I was chasing that and killing that, I sent a few units up here. I killed this base. And then, yeah, I got a couple things going up here to deny this base. And once I get up here and confirm he's not even, like, up here and mining and stuff, it's... the game's completely over. But, so this is where... kind of what I was talking about earlier. This is, like, where things come back to bite me, right? So because I never took this base like I was supposed to, I still don't even have my third gas up and mining it. We're at 23 minutes, I'm still on 2 gas. This is, like, completely unforgivable. Mostly, yeah. But my expansion pattern, like I said, really bad. I've only just barely started mining this base. I still don't have the third gas. I'm on this mineral only, just mined out this. So I'm on 2 base mining, but my saturation is not even good right now. Why is it so poor? Got 51 SCVs. Where are they? Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this base is getting up and running. And this is actually pretty dangerous for me to take this base right away the way I did. Instead of securing this base properly and securing this base properly, this expanding down here is a little bit much to spread myself so thin when I know he's on arbiters and recalls, right? I needed to be focusing on getting this base set up, get my gas, get this base set up, and then I can worry a little bit more about this. But I think triple expanding like this against arbiter can be such a throwaway. It ends up not coming back to bite me, but it absolutely could have. I think the way I expanded this game was really poor. I think my army control was decent. I think my macro was good. But I think my expansion pattern was awful. So I kind of like chill here for a second. Instead of like committing to a push, because a lot of times I would just be like pushing right now. And yeah, it's pretty much unlosable, right? But I don't know exactly what the game state is. I just know that I just killed these bases. I've got these bases running. No, I still got all 3 scanners here. Yeah, what's up, Alan? But I know that my mining's getting up and running strong. So instead of like immediately pushing like I would normally, I'm just thinking, okay, this game's pretty much unlosable. If I attacked and then got counter recalled at just like both of these bases, and suddenly I'm dead, right? Eco-wise, so I just play it safe and kind of chill. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I could float it off, sure. But I'm not really looking to take more bases than I already have right now. I don't want to make it even harder to defend. I do this kind of like... It's like I wanted to push out, but I was just worried about the counter recalls. I didn't want to die to anything annoying. And he's trying to play catch up, my money's up and running. We'll just play very safe from here. As long as I don't do anything stupid, it's not losable. But yeah, this game's over at this point. Yeah, let's go Valorex. Alright, so the first game was pretty simple, honestly. The old one, I guess, from not that long ago. Alright, I don't want to make too many excuses for this map, because there's really not good excuses. I just, honestly, for when I have to play on Dominator, I just have, like, such a mental shutdown. I mean, what do you want me to say, Valorex? But yeah, on this map, it's like, there's so many things about this map I struggle with. I feel like I just haven't played it enough to feel comfortable on like what my layout and stuff is gonna be. And like whenever my SimCity is off or it feels uncomfortable, it's like it sucks up so much of my focus. And I just kind of like shut down this game. I can explain a little bit of like in what way I was shutting down, but yeah, this game's I get bopped on this one. First off, as soon as I dropped my barracks, I was already annoyed with myself. Because I put in a way where my depot's going to be flushed up against the wall, and it makes it where trying to move the Marines through it is awful. So, like, I was already annoyed as soon as I put my first barracks down, and it's already begun. You know what I mean? I'm going to call you Kosh. Thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate that. But yeah. This barracks placement's really bad because when I put the depot down, it's a bit flush. Yeah, it can float, but the reason I didn't want to float to it, I just ended up trying to move the depot down a little bit. Of course I know it can float, Erob. But the reason I didn't want to float it is because this map is so zealot aggressive that I can't afford to lift it and miss out on like half a Marine plus. Like I just auto lose if I do that. So that's why I don't float after I put it down. I can't afford to do that against Zealot Rally. Because it's going to get so tight. But end up losing... Yeah, there is that as well, actually. Yeah, that's about half a Marine. It's not worth losing the game over. But yeah, so... Probe comes in with the Zealot, and then basically what I was worried about happens. I have a hard time... moving the Marine through, and I just lose one Marine for free. So I kind of tilt in the beginning of this one. I was trying to get this one to go, and I just couldn't, right? You see me trying to get it to go. And it's not like... I don't really even take that much damage. I mean, 2 Marines isn't great, but from here it actually goes pretty well. We get the evac block, he sends the Goon, we get the 2 SCVs, Vulture. Even though we lost 2 Marines essentially for free, we did get a Zealot pretty low. So I guess it's not for free. And then here I just try to get a little bit of extra damage before the Goon shows up. I know the Goon's coming, so just try to soften them up, get the 2 Zealots, right? We lose a Vulture, but I'm like super happy with this situation. I start my CC right away. We got the cancel in the eBay. And then, yeah. I feel like the early game was really, really good for me here. I don't lose this Vulture, I get it out of the map. I got 4 Marines plus. Even kills one, which completely fine with me, to be honest. And then we get into our tank and stuff, right? So early game, I feel really good. CC is faster. We're actually up a worker. It's going to get worse with the CC. So, like, I knew the early game went well. And you would think this would help me calm down with this map. But I play very scared, because I never confirmed the Nexus. My Vulture took a lot of damage, so I wasn't comfortable scouting with it. He knows that my Vulture's out on the map, right? So, instead of running in and potentially losing the Vulture, because the mines are really important to me, I just make the eBay in case he's going DT. And we just play it kind of safe. So, I lose a bit of my lead because of that, because I wasn't sure. I think I even make... I guess I don't make turrets at home at first. Yeah, okay. And then here it happens again, right? Where I started getting really uncertain about what I want to do with my turrets. At first I'm like, oh, I'll make a turret ring, and then I realize a turret ring on this map is way too many turrets. It's like not realistic. Because I was thinking, I'll go turret ring because the early game went good for me, and then I'll go 6-pack. And then I like make a turret here, and honestly a bad spot. This is not a good turret because there's so much dead space here that it's not covering. I just like missed out on so much potential. And then I make this turret, and then I start to make another turret and change my mind. Then I make the 6-pack. Then he scouts it, and it's just like, I'm so... I was fighting myself quite a bit on this map. So I know he knows that I'm going to push, and then I'm like, oh, well, I'll be tricky, and... Because he's going to cut a bunch and make a ton of gateways, right? Which is exactly what he did. I was like, oh, I'll just take a third then. But if I'm going to do that, this is fine if I want to go 6-pack into a third. Like, I can just transition this into a third, but I was cutting workers, and I didn't drop a starport. So, I don't think the idea in theory is bad, because, like, right now, we'd be totally... If I dropped a CC and kept making workers, I'd be in a fantastic spot right now. But just... me being uncertain, then I make these, like, 2 late turrets, because I'm like, oh, what if he starts reaver dropping me? And then he ends up flying in and doing a bunch of damage anyway, and then I don't start my third or my starport for a long time. So it's just, yeah, I'm just, like, all over the place. And then... realistically, like, this game state's fine still, right? Like, we're pretty much even on workers. My third base is almost done. He hasn't started his fourth. Like, we're still good here. I'm just a bit lost, honestly. And then he ends up flying with these 2 shuttles and doing a ton of damage. Got everything set up here. Yeah, this game's a bit of a disaster. But game state is actually really good for me. Starport done. I know it's a little bit late, but starport done. Third base done. Workers are ahead. Honestly, like, I'm in a really good spot if I just defended this correctly. Starport placement. Well, I was just gonna move it. I was just throwing it down somewhere. But, yeah, we just end up keeling over. And yeah, I have no mines here. I know the army's out here. I have nothing for vision or blocking with the mines. I send everything back. I don't even take, like, hardly any damage from this. Okay. I take some damage, actually. Lost a lot of units. Killed a Reaver only. I guess 1 shuttle and the Zealots. But yeah, if I have the mines here, we're still completely fine. Got a bunch of units over here. And this game, actually looking at it in replay, is... I'm so completely fine if I just do something really simple. But I don't, so I just keel over. Like, all my units aren't even moving, right? I've got nothing moving back. I got 4 units here, I've got 5 units here. I've got another 8, 9 units here. The 2 tanks being here is fine. Like, I have way more than enough to hold this easily, right? But I'm just scatterbrained at this point. Man. Maybe I don't even have to GG here, actually. This is actually kind of even... Despite all of that, this might even just be an early GG. In fact, it just is. I'm just not dead. I don't even think I realized how many units I had back here coming. Yeah, this is a bad game by me. Way too in my own head, this game, for sure. Because the situation's not even that bad. It is crazy. It's actually really unhinged that I quit there. I know how I felt in the moment. In the moment, I thought this was like all I had. I didn't realize how much I still had coming. I definitely don't know that I'm up in workers, and I thought he had like way more army there here than he does. Like, I don't know why in my head I was being like completely overwhelmed, but the game is so fine, it's insane. Wow. That's crazy. What's wrong with me? I feel like I almost never feel like an early GG. This was definitely an early GG. Brutal. Brutal, brutal. Yeah, well, that's what I ended up saying. I feel like when I'm on Dominator, I get so in my own head, just because there's so many things that I don't like about it, and then I make myself believe that I'm doing worse than I am, right? It's a really bad thing about me sometimes. Alright, so coming into Polestar, like I said, I wanted to two-fact on the first map, but then I decided I wasn't going to two-fact because of the high grounds for Polypoid, right? And then he picked Dominator after I won Polypoid, and then I was like, well, it's kind of the same thing. I don't want to be fighting up high grounds over and over again, trying to two-fact. So here, we finally I get a map pick now. I pick Polestar. I think Polestar is a really strong two-factory map. It does have high ground, but you can kind of go around them and force them down, which is what I do. I think this is like a really strong play on this map. I will say when I did two-fact, I never really do the build, and I did not do it very well this first time. In fact, I would argue that I did horribly. A horrible version of two-fact. But we learned from it. Okay. So I know going 11 gas, and I kind of realized after I did it that 11 gas for two-fact feels awful. I don't know if you're supposed to do that or not, but I hated it. So I ended up doing 12 gas in the future after this one, but I felt like I just did not have enough money to build my stuff. And then having to like cut workers, and it kind of snowballs from like cutting the early worker for the 11 gas and then not having enough workers to continue making workers for my production, and yeah, it ends up just being really, really late. So we make that adjustment later. That being said, even though I did a really bad version of a two-fact, he even scouted it. I think he went... I don't know if he went 2 or 3 gate before Robo, but it felt like he went at least 2 gate before Robo. I haven't really confirmed this yet myself, so we're going to see here. He didn't scout it? He absolutely did. I can even show you when he did. Yeah, he did. I know for a fact he did. So right there, he confirms no CC. So I know that he knows it's coming now. Okay, he did do Robo before second gate. Here, Rob, if you're wrong, I'm going to tell me out, okay? So right here, he can already see that I haven't started it. So what do you... Actually, hang on. Or no, he didn't walk in yet. My bad. I still have my vision on. I'm an idiot. Yeah. How do you time out for a specific amount of time? What's the default? 10 minutes? Alright, 10 minutes sounds great. I'm doing this here, Rob, because it's been non-stop. If you're gonna constantly like tell me I'm wrong or whatever if you think I'm wrong, you have to be correct, okay? Because I'm not going to... I don't want to waste my time going back and forth proving to you people that I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so he confirmed I was going... He at least confirmed I didn't have CC, so I assume he knows that I'm going two-fact at this point, or at least that's most likely what I would be doing at this point. But like I said, it's pretty late, partially because of these like early cuts that I was doing with the workers came back to bite me quite a bit. Like, it definitely snowballed. So this is something I learned from this game specifically. So, but like I said, one thing I like about this map for two-fact is because when you're doing it, they're going to do this, right? They're going to sit on this high ground, and then you can go and kind of wedge yourself between them. I do lose this first ultra, which is awful. I think I hotkeyed it and it was coming this way, and then when I did it, it came up this way. So obviously that's super troll. Because I should have stayed as well, truthfully. to make sure I can get my mines up behind. But it's like I wanted to push him down and lay mines in between us. And it ends up... I end up getting one mine off. I shouldn't have laid the second one there, especially because I saw him coming back. But this one I get far enough away, he doesn't really get the catch. But I don't know if he made a mistake here. I kind of want to go back and look at his production. And see kind of where it went wrong for him. Because it felt like he should have had a lot more because of how late my push was. But I think he cuts... Does he cut at 22, I guess? He goes 23 Nexus. 23 Nexus is like kind of... I think 23 Nexus is probably the worst opener against a 2-fact. I think Rangeless even might be slightly better, or it could be worse. Maybe Rangeless is worse. 18 or 21. But yeah, he cuts, I think, around 22. I don't know if he makes more than that. And then he just goes up to his 3 gate, which is fine. Definitely a little bit of a Dragoon cut there. And second, third gate finished. Starts pretty much right away. And then, yeah, another kind of big goon cut there. Because he's macroing or microing. But it wasn't too bad, actually. So he didn't really cut units very much. It's just that we were getting a good trade. I mean, he had a lot of goons, too, in total, now that I think about it. Because we killed quite a few. Because we killed 2 on the backside here. Wait, really? Killed 2 on the backside, and we get this mine that gets a big hit off, so these 2 goons are very weak. Killed the 2 goons up here. He wasn't really getting on top of my tanks very well. I also wasn't repairing the tanks like I should be. Yeah, because they were so soft, it's fine. And here, I think I'm getting siege. Yeah, I'm getting siege. But again, like, everything's a little bit late because like I said, my worker cut early is like really hurting me. So even though this is going really, really well, yeah, you're probably thinking about the Fighting Sphere game. I think the Fighting Sphere game was a total disaster for him. So even though this like trading's going really well, I'm not ahead like I should be because I think the way I did the build was just bad. Like my eco was way worse than it should have been. And I actually still could have lost this game because of this, despite, you know, we killed a lot of goons, we killed his Nexus, we got a setup out here. The only reason I feel like I win this game so easily is because he throws away 2 Reavers. I do go to check for this, because like when there's no action for a second here and I know he has the shuttle, I realized that it's very likely he was going for this, and I could have been aware of this a bit sooner. I should have already had multiple tanks making, I think. I start them now. So now we're just setting up out here. And I'm just trying to not take any damage at this point. I think we micro pretty well here. He goes for this Nexus. We're just making sure that this is like super inefficient. So this is where he just throws the game away. Because I think this game is actually hard for me if he doesn't do this. I don't know what he was trying to do. Or if he just didn't realize I built turrets out here, but I'm surely he saw the turret by now. Maybe he didn't. Either way, he wasn't paying attention when he flew this in. And it's just... the game's over now. Like, he had a little bit of potential. But when that happened, he can just quit the game at this point. Like, I'm still ahead, but it's not easy, you know? Like, if he has the 2 Reavers here, he cleans this up way easier, doesn't lose as much. And then I can't push out like this very easily. There's, of course, like the Reaver threat still for counter. Although, my setup's actually fine. But the game's pretty much just over after that. I don't have a lot of confidence in this game, really in myself in general. I can do whatever I want and win, right? I can push anywhere I want, but because I didn't feel like my early game was going as well as it should have as far as like my side of things, I didn't have the confidence to be pushing, and I don't have any mines out on the field, right? I have no vultures for mines, so I'm so in the dark right now You see what I mean? Like, this feels so uncomfortable for me to push. I'm afraid of like a big counterattack and getting countered with like Reavers and kind of bulldogged while my army's on the other side of the map. I think I confirmed this Nexus by now. I don't quite remember. I'm not gonna worry about it as far as going back. It's never easy, fast, or fun to watch. You don't like TVP? I like TVP. I like watching it. I'm also only on 2 factories, so like if I lose the army, then I have like no production behind it, so this is part of why I have like no confidence right now to be pushing. And plus I see the observer flying over him the whole time, so he sees everything, I see nothing, right? So I'm so uncomfortable in this game. And here I finally am like, oh, okay, I can definitely go and fight him. I have way more than enough. But let's take him on 3rd TC. So it's like, well, if I'm taking a 3rd, I probably shouldn't like overdo it. I don't know. Kill the Reaver there and finally get scans to kill the observers. But everything just felt so slow for me, right? Now I'm getting my extra factories online. I decided to kind of chill for a second. But I think, I don't know. I think the way I was running around the map is kind of troll, honestly. Because I don't know how much he had, and if I'm not comfortable, this is something I gotta start doing. I need to listen to myself a little bit more. Even if I'm wrong sometimes, right? Most of the time my gut feeling's good. And I think that, there's no point in me, like, floundering around in the middle of the map blind. Not sure if he has enough to kill me or not. If I'm worried about that, yo, Dustin, thanks for the $2, man. TVP is the worst non-mirror. Okay. I'm sorry that you feel that way, man. But yeah, if I'm not confident I think it's possible, then there's no point in me doing what I'm doing, because I'm not going to commit to a push. I'm basically just wandering around waiting to see if I die or not. So, like, this obviously is super nonsensical. I was doing it because, like, in my head I felt like I should be way ahead, but I wasn't confident. And I think if I'm just not confident, I shouldn't be doing that. I needed to get vultures out, but I wasn't comfortable doing that because I only had the 2 factories, right? And I wanted to be pumping tanks. But honestly, I should have cut a couple tanks to get, like, 4 vultures out so I could lay some mines around and get a little bit of vision and comfort. So I think that's something I was doing that was really stupid. In this case, I was far enough ahead that it doesn't matter. But it could have mattered. But finally, I get a little bit of confidence. Our production's online. I push forward, and we're just kind of win the game. We've just been ahead ever since, I know you're not. I've just kind of been ahead since, the 2 fact, basically. Oh, yeah, I was dealing with this. I was like, what am I doing? Yeah, this one's over. Okay, and then Metropolis, the next one. Oh, Roaring Currents. Okay, I enjoyed this game a lot, by the way. I thought, for me, this was the most fun match of the series. I think the worst made a very, very big mistake in the early game here. Alright, so I was thinking about this and I kind of looked at it. You can do... So Protoss can go for like Gas Steel Proxy Gate, right? Or just Proxy Gate or whatever, because it's a 2-player map. Even though the travel distance is pretty insane, they can still do it. But I was thinking, because the travel distance is so long, I don't have to worry about them really getting here before I have my barracks up. And you can actually do depot barracks wall. And if you do your depot like straight horizontal to the barracks, then Marine can get through, but Zealot can't get through. So this is what I decided I was going to go for. And then when I saw no sign of the probe showing up is when I decided to go 15cc. But I did this just in case it was a proxy. I wanted to send the SCV out, but obviously it doesn't work that way. So I go 15cc this game. Yeah, 15. Yeah. And he goes 12 Nexus, and he goes Forge. He ends up going Gate Forge. But here's where I feel like Worst made a really big mistake. So he gets up here, and he sees 15cc and Marine. And I think he didn't realize this is 15cc because he could have canceled the Forge. Okay. I think canceling the Forge against this is completely fine. There's no reason not to even. And not only does he not cancel the Forge, he actually still makes the cannon. And I don't know why. And the only thing I could think is that he doesn't realize this was 15cc when he scouted it. So I should be... I was pretty happy with this when I saw him making the cannon. I thought that was, like, crazy. But then, a couple things. First off, idle command sinners, right? And the second thing is, I'm an idiot and didn't realize the Zealous was going to walk through. So, even though I should be in a pretty good spot, this actually completely messes me up. I think I lose one or both of the Marines and just get a bit thrown off, like... Yeah, because while I'm doing this, I got SCVs everywhere. Losing SCV, send my Marine back. And now I'm down 5 workers, right? Whereas that could be, like, mostly even, at least very close, maybe down, like, 2. So, got a little bit off because of that. So, any potential advantage I could have had kind of evaporated there. And then I go Starport after a 2-fact. I'm kind of wondering if I should go 1-fact Starport instead, though. Although I think I did the 2-fact at the same time, right? Because I did do 15cc, so I guess that's part of it. It's not that bad then. And I saw I was going to take a 3rd, and then he decided not to. I ended up killing... Did I kill the probe? Or he just sent it back home? There's no way I killed it. The kill on that vulture was from the Zealot. Did my SCV kill it? No way, right? He just sent it back. Yeah, he just sent it back. Okay. Sorry, side tangent there. So, I set up like a bit of a turret ring here, and then I go Wraith. I think Wraith on this map is super good, because they're pretty much always going to go shuttle. Yeah. I think it's pretty good. I should have... Normally I send my barracks out, but because of the 15cc, I kind of wanted it in the wall. But I should have the barracks somewhere out here spotting for the shuttle. I end up getting pretty lucky in finding the shuttle. I think it is empty, though, when I find it. I was hoping I killed a Reaver, but I don't think I do. But I'm pretty lucky that these 2 Wraith actually find the shuttle, because my barracks should have been out here a while ago to help me spot for this. I just happened... Man, it's actually crazy how lucky I got. That movement timing. But yeah, it is an empty shuttle, though. I almost want to go back and look at my POV. I can't quite remember. I think it was just that I felt like there should have been a shuttle coming out and I wasn't seeing it. Or like maybe the positioning I felt like needed to be redone. Not sure. Okay, so I thought I just killed Reavers. I felt like the opening was good for me, but it actually kind of wasn't. He's like way overmade probes for his 2 base right now. Because he's not even mining on his 3rd. I'm on 5-fact. Like I said, I think I just killed a shuttle. So I'm like, okay, I can like push and kill him now. Like, this is what I've been thinking. And looking at this, pretty sure that's true. He's only on 6 gateways right now, 7 and 8. Kind of barely just started. I've got a decent army. My army supply is actually higher. It's about even, I guess, but it's slightly higher. So, realistically, I feel like the game should have been able to be ended here, or at least get, like, a big advantage. But I make a massive mistake that completely screws me here. So, while I'm trying to push, and I go to make my scanners, first off, I bleed off a bunch of units, and then I go to make my scanners, and I lift my CC. So I just set all my rallies to here, and I wanted to push up to this space and take this space, because that's where I set my rallies. And then I did this, and while I'm trying to fix this, I just bleed off units from my rally. So like there's a free tank and a free vulture. And then I don't fix my rallies, I think I lose even more. Okay, we at least saved that one. But I think my rallies later kind of screw me. So now because of that, I got so distracted with that and I bled off some units. Once again, I lost confidence. I have to be pushing. But he's not mining on his third while this is happening. He's like great about this. Like I said, he's at 70 workers, but he's on 2 base mining with 70 workers, so right now he's really not even that strong. But because my push was really slow, I think I just decided not to commit at this point. Or do I commit? Man, I thought I turned around. This is a terrible idea. I know this is terrible. Because my macro, I know, is completely slipped. Look how much money I have. I'm actually surprised that I keep pushing here. That, like, screams insecurity that I did that. So we throw this army away. The only reason this is playable is because his economy was so late getting up and running. The game actually should be over after something like that. But we get set up, we get our 3rd base up and running. He's only on 3 base, so despite that, it's okay right now. Like I said, army supply, it's not too far off. This is definitely a pretty easily holdable army supply for Terran. Rally's still not fixed, so I think I'll bleed off another tank here. It's good stuff. Yo, Skyline, thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate it. I complain about it. And this is my first drop of the game. And I think I keep re-dropping here. This is more like a distracting thing. I saw that he didn't see me coming, so I'm like pretty comfortable with it, but he's already got the 2 shuttles full. The one of them's like all Templar. But this was more of a just give him something to think about. And killing the one cannon allows me to get in here and at least kill a few probes. So it wasn't like completely worthless. It wasn't great, but it was okay. And as well as rebuilding, like building up a more dropships, right? And then I scanned and saw that he left, and he didn't leave any army down here, so this is where I start getting some good fighting now. Like, this is where I'm, like, starting to get really comfortable and happy. He goes for this, but we're set up pretty decent. He does get storm drops off. But we actually don't take that much damage, surprisingly. And we kill the base. This is not great. The lack of minefield out here is not great. I should at least have, like, a spotting minefielder to buy me time out here. Luckily, I think he kind of commits, but I have a bunch of my units up here, and I think I kind of start to swing it out this way in case he goes into my main, right? But yeah, I needed the mines out here to kind of set me up for it better, but he just commits to coming in through this way instead of going to my main, which was probably the right call for him if he's going to attack. This isn't really any better. Kinda. I mean, I don't have much here, I guess, but I did have units like already kind of getting behind because I thought he might do that. But this turns into a bit of a meat grinder here. We have a pretty good spread of tanks, so it gets like a really, really bad fight here. I denied this base. We're loading up. I think I go to this base next. And at this point, I'm just thinking I'll starve him out on the low ground bases, right? And you want to do like really heavy Goliath with these drops, because this way when they come in with the shuttles, you can just kill off a bunch of the shuttles. You're not necessarily going to stop all the drops, of course, but you just get kind of that bonus trading against the shuttles. And he has to remake them all to continue dropping, right? He does lead with an empty one, which is pretty smart. I wasn't watching, unfortunately, so they pretty much get the full unload. And only kill, like, what, 2 shuttles? But taking this base in the meantime, I'm floating way too many minerals. I'm moving really slow. This is part of, like, when you're playing these, like, weird maps, you're kind of, it's like you're spending more time thinking, right, about what your next play is going to be, because it's just you don't have that comforter, like, built in. Like, the automatic stuff's not there as much, right? I scanned top left, so I didn't have this base. I knew I just killed this base and this base, so I am, like, super comfortable right now. Like I said, obviously I'm floating way too much money. And yeah, I went to make more factories and realized I don't have my barracks. I have no idea when that died. I guess it died dead. Corsair. And yeah, here he gets here just as I'm kind of unloading a bunch of my reinforcements. And then we get set up here, and yeah, very, very happy now. I have an island map, or island base, up and running. Pretty decently defended. I end up laying mines and adding some more turrets as well. He kills this base, but I'm floating so much money, and I know I'm mining so much better than him that I don't care. I killed this base with another counter drop. This wasn't really that important to me, that it died. I could probably have lifted... Well, I don't know. I don't need to. I don't need to lift. I mean, that was pretty good for him, I guess. But, again, I know I have an island and he doesn't right now. So, it doesn't really matter, because these bases mine out so fast. I know that he's going to be on one base mining soon. I'm almost mined out here. But I have, like, the only healthy base on the map right now belongs to me. My mine setup here feels pretty good. He actually, what he should have done is probably unloaded a couple probes first to clear the mines. Not this. I mean, he could have done, like, a zealot easier, more easily, obviously, to clear it. And here I confirm that he's got this base. And I'm at this point, I'm just playing to deny the islands, right? That's all I really care about. He does end up killing it, but I killed all the shuttles. So because I killed all the shuttles, I know I can go pretty much for an instant redrop. So that's what I focus on. Like, I killed all the shuttles. Let's just go quickly before he can get back again. Set up our mines pretty quick. And then I think I bring over SCVs? Or maybe I just build them out of there. I don't remember. And yeah, we're just bouncing back and forth, hitting the islands over and over again. Just playing to starve them out. Yeah, so they're on load. I think I make a bunch of turrets. Yeah. And that was kind of his last hurrah, I knew. We're maxed, we're building up a bank. I'm just chilling. I'm not in a hurry to do anything. But yeah, this was a pretty fun game. I definitely screwed up my push, and I think that he had some chances to kind of kill me, but like I said, he made 70 probes on 2 bases and wasn't mining his third with 70 probes. I think that's kind of like the only reason he wasn't able to overrun me was because of that mistake. This map. This game. This is such a dumb game. I mean, I deserved it. I 100% deserve what happens this game. It's completely on me. So, I had my mic muted for this series. But I promise you, I'm not lying to you. I specifically thought this might just be the normal expand into the DT build, or DT drop. Because I've been hit with this so many times on ladder recently. And that's one of the main reasons you go eBay after second fact or armory after second fact. Is because of DT. Or turrets even. Or, sorry, reavers. But I decide I'm gonna be completely unnecessarily greedy for no good reason. Even though I had in the back of my mind that this was a possibility. Very specifically this game. And I decided to go for, kind of wish, yeah, I wish I'd done this the day after I played the games. Because there was a reason that I was thinking I was going to commit to a strong push. We'll see this game if I can remember if it's like the early game went really well for me or something, but I don't remember it going super well off the top of my head. Like, nothing special happening anyway. So he just goes home. He ends up going for the DT drop. I mean, maybe I just felt like I was playing a solid early game. Like, my macro was good. But I end up laying defensive mines in case of DTs. I just had it in my head that he was going DTs, but... if I just went and saw the goon count with my vultures, I would have known sooner. But it wasn't till... So I started my third factory here. And this should have been an eBay or an academy. Period. And it would have been sooner. But it's when my vultures get here is when I'm like, this is the moment that I realize, oh, this could be the DT drop like I was worried about. Because there's still no sign of life from worst. And then where I place my eBay is super troll. If I'm worried about a DT drop, why would I put my eBay directly where the DTs are going to be dropped? You know what I mean? Like, if I was really worried about this, which I was when I saw no third, that's when I felt like I was for sure getting DT dropped. I should put it, like, over here, or, like, around my mines, or something, right? But I just, like, panicked and threw it directly in the path of where the DT are going to come from. So, the game's just over, right? We were up, like, 6 or 7 workers. I wanted to be dumb and go for this third pack before. And we just lose. So, GG. Good game. Not a whole lot to say this game. I did something really dumb. I deserved to die for it, and I did. That's what it comes down to. This game, actually, is pretty interesting to me. I feel like I kind of learned something from this game. So in this game, I commit to a 6-fact, which I don't think is bad necessarily. But I should have gathered enough information to realize I don't need to commit to it. So kind of the same as the Dominator game. He goes, I think, 10 gate, and then completely cuts tech and workers, which is a completely fine response to 6-fact. But what I need to do is when I scan, if I scan and see the gateway count, and I see that he's not mining a second gas, I just need to drop a starport and expand, and not keep pushing, right? I think it's as simple as that. You'll see what I mean. I'll break it down a little bit more in the game. So I started my turret there because, again, I wasn't getting confirmation of anything, but I saw the Nexus, and I was like, okay, this is just normal. Or maybe even killed a mine, too. I think I had, like, another mine that was out here, and he cleared it. So I ended up canceling my eBay. I did want to be safe. This is part of the power of doing something like a DT drop or something. Showing some cheese is that I worry about it a little bit more. But I see he's playing a completely normal game. I also think if I 6-fact, I might should do, maybe should do turret rings so he doesn't get the scalp, but I kind of just wanted to greed the lack of turrets. I didn't really care if he saw it. And I think that's fine. I think it's completely fine. So he cuts workers, and he's not mining a second gas, he's not teching, and he just goes, like, all in on units, right? Initially, supply looks good for me, but he's gonna have a ton of production. I do bleed off some vultures, getting a little too far ahead. And at this stage it's fine, but I still don't have my scanners, and this is just not good. There's just, again, there's no reason for me to not have my scanners right now. Because if I scan and I see this, and I always say, like, the gateway count, they may have just made a bunch of the gates and not using them, but if I scan and I see, like, oh, we're not even mining our gas, then this entire army can just fall back and defend, and I take my third. I think there's no reason to keep pushing if I have that information, but look how late my scanners are, so I don't have the information, right? I did get a good trade and I killed a bunch of units, so I was like, okay, let's just keep going. And I get into, like, this position, which normally is a good position. 0 mines behind my army. Not setting up mines in front is fine, but there was no reason not to have... Like, this is okay-ish. Doesn't really do a whole lot for me. But I needed to be laying mines behind as I push forward here. Like, if I wanted to cut this way, then lay minefield, and then come down, that makes more sense than cutting across from here. Because I can't lay mines very easily when this was my movement path, right? When I went from here to here. But I think if I come up and around, lay my mines here as I'm coming around, this makes way, way more sense. To kind of make this flank a lot weaker. Because, like, realistically, I have enough to hold this pretty easily. If I have a minefield set up, and the Zealots don't get to do this. They just get to walk up on top of my tanks for free. Was that a mine, too? Or was that friendly fire? That was awful. Did I have a mine there? No, I think it's just all friendly fire. Yeah, it's just all splash damage. I'm trying to target the goons, but there's not even a whole lot of goons to target. But yeah, the Zealots getting to just walk up like this was a crime. And from here, it's kind of just over. Yeah, and I didn't use my scans at this point. Partially because I was saving it in case he went DT, but again, this is because my scanners were so late. It's just not necessary to have them so late. I'm also floating a lot. And then after that, I tried to transition into a third, but we've lost all of our army, so I just got busted from there. Yeah, I just don't have enough anymore to hold. But if I keep enough, well, actually, I mean, supply looks fine. I tried taking 12 o'clock too, which is really stupid. I don't know why I went for this base instead of this base first. It really doesn't make any sense. I see here with his mine that he's trying to take a fourth. I push out again? Oh, because I'm trying to take this space. This is so dumb. Sometimes I'm just unbelievably dumb. Why? Why am I taking 12 here? Trying to defend this space is so much harder than this and this. Doesn't make any sense. And I just don't start a starport, I guess. Yeah, I mean, this is all pretty bad. I'm, like, fully focused on trying to defend this very difficult space to defend with no starport. I just don't even drop a starport. Honestly, we played this game really poorly, now that I'm looking at it. Like, felt like I was doing fine, but a couple pretty bad decisions. The lack of scanner, taking this base, no starport after, at least, you know, it's late. Quoting 2,000 gas. Yeah, but I think the biggest takeaway is I just need to drop 2 scans. Scan his gateway count, and when I see this many gateways, confirm that he's not mining gas. And even if I just see the gateway count, honestly, that might be enough. I can still, like, do a little bit of pressure, but not full commit like I did. Because I think the pressure is fine. Lean on him, trade units with him, because initially my army is going to be so much stronger until he gets a couple rotations out of all this. Because I know he's not affording this much production without cutting probes. So I think the initial push is good. Fight a little bit, you know, fight him into middle or whatever, and then don't commit here, and just fall back, you know, be making my 3rd CC behind it. I'm thinking about it too. It's part of why it'd be good to have turrets to keep him out of my base, so if I make the CC, he doesn't know. But I don't think necessarily... Like I made a... I don't know. I don't know what I'm... Like, what is this? What is this turret? It's so bad. That was the... I feel like I should have turrets turret. It's pretty embarrassing, actually. But yeah, just taking a 3rd. Pushing out faking it, right, when I confirm the gateway count. Make them make a few rounds of units, make them cut probes while I'm actually making SCVs and take them on third, drop a starport. I think this is actually strong, honestly. Going 6-fact and then not committing if they, like, hardcore react to it, right? So, I think we learned something that game. Okay. And then Knockout. Knockout is a map that kind of really favors the greedy openers as well. 12 Nexus, 15 CC. But I got to do my absolute favorite push this game. I don't think it's a strong push for the record, but it is my favorite one to do. I think there's a lot of ways for Protoss to beat it relatively easily. But here I scout 12 Nexus, I scout Forge. I don't even think I confirmed the cannon, but I started threatening to come across with the Marines. Or no, sorry. I was pushing the Marines out to look for the probe because I don't want them to see that I'm not taking the CC. So we kind of keep them in the dark as best we can this game. And once he gets in here and finds it, I don't care anymore because I'm already coming. He ends up going 3-8, but I think... I don't know the correct way of doing it for him. But I think the 3 gate's late or something's wrong, because it feels like he should have more units than he had, so I don't know exactly what went wrong. But this is my favorite push to do, where you just go straight into tank and siege mode, and then just continuous rally Marines and tanks and bunker push. eBay probably could have been sooner, should have been sooner, because there's several follow-ups for Protoss off of this. They can go 3-8, then go DT, then go Reavers. Everything's kind of scary. Like, this isn't really good against anything. Yeah, if the Protoss is executing correctly, then they realistically should be able to hold. But he tries to bust here, and we kill, like, everything. So this was the moment that I already felt like I won the game, and now it's just a matter of closing it out. There was one kind of troll moment here. So here I saw... Was it there? No, I check in here in a second. I want you to see my vision on this. It's kind of ridiculous. So I was like kind of starting to creep my tanks forward. And here I walk up and I'm like, oh, I saw 2 goons there. So I was like, let's just go kill them. And then all of a sudden there's like 1,000 units up here. A little bit of a jump scare. So I end up taking way worse of a trade than I should have. If I just sat in front, I like never would have been able to break it, but yeah, it's kind of a funny moment, I guess. And so I just leave this here to trade as best I can. My CC's almost done. I knew I killed a bunch of probes as well from when he tried to bust the first time. And then we scout around to make sure there's no hidden bases. And then I start staying home with everything at this point, in case I'm getting Reaver dropped or anything like that. But he ends up making a bunch of units busting through. I'm okay with this. At this point, it's way more than done its job. I mean, look how far ahead we are, right? And the game's pretty straightforward from here. But I love doing this push. I think it's such a fun push to do. But like I said, it's not good. I don't actually recommend it. And what I'm thinking here, like, I don't, as you guys know, I don't usually make, like, much of a turret ring. I still don't even do it properly, because there's a huge gap here that he just flies through. Because I'm an idiot. But the reason I, like, kind of was doing a turret ring is because I was like, I'm so far ahead, it doesn't matter. I can do that and it's fine. But end up losing a few SCVs. It's nothing too bad, though, for how far ahead I am. But we end up just pushing and breaking it. essentially. Like I said, pretty straightforward. He's on 2 base, 8 gate, trying to stay alive. Kind of. It was kind of like that. It's like FD, but with FD you're doing typically, this is like one tank and then vultures behind it, right? For like mines or whatever. Whereas this is tank and siege mode and continuous tank rally. And like continuous marines and bunkers and all that stuff. So I wouldn't really call it an FD. I would more like a tank push is what I would call it. Just straight up a tank push or bunker push. I don't know what you would technically call it, but it's a little bit different from an FD. A straight up FD, pretty sure is not good against 12 Nexus because they'll have the 2-gate production pretty early. But yeah, straightforward game. I enjoyed that one too. And then our last game, I corrected essentially my my 2-fact from the previous game. He picked Fighting Spirit. I decided immediately, I'm not playing a long game on Fighting Spirit. I hate it. I hate this map. I've been doing it for years, okay? So I was like, alright, we're gonna 2-fact. But apparently, he like really screwed some stuff up. I haven't seen it yet, but I was told that he kind of self-destructed. So I'm not gonna watch myself as much. I just make a bit of a refinement. I do 12 gas this time instead of 11 gas. It felt way, way better. The timing was a bit faster. And just the way I was able to produce behind it felt way better. Let's see what he does here. So it looks like a normal... Okay, we go... Are we going 29? Wait, this is already kind of a weird... Did 25 Nexus? Is that what we did? This is kind of odd. So he makes the extra pylon. I wonder what made him do that. And then he made Nexus at 25. So it wasn't even like a 29 Nexus. That was very weird. And then he goes 2 Goon. Cuts a Goon for Robo. Overmade pylons. His supply is going to be ridiculous this whole game, actually. This is about to go up to 50. Second gate's fine. But yeah, the timing of this is like 30 seconds faster. I actually want to go back and compare the exact timing. So this was 5:05, I'm moving out. Was it just 4 Marines? No, 5 Marines. Yeah, 5 Marines, 5:05 moving out, bringing 3 SCVs. So we're going to compare that. Let me write that down. 5:05. 5 Marine. So I want to go back and look at how much better that was. So he only has 3 Goon. We're at 36 of 50. Yeah, I mean, he's floating pointer minerals. He's just completely out of whack. Get the pullback there, get the repair. Yeah, I mean, he's just dead. He was all over the place on this build. Shuttle, 3rd gateway. Mine hit. Yeah, I don't know. He just kind of fell apart at this game. He completely screwed up his build. I think he accidentally made an extra pylon. Or something. it's hard to really say exactly what happened, like why he did this. Or like he went to 25 supply, then made the pylon. Or made the pylon with 25 supply, then made the Nexus. This is very weird. Alright, so let's compare here to when this comes out. Okay, it's actually almost the exact same. What was my SCV count in the last game, though? So this is pretty much the same. It's like 4 or 5 seconds late. But I'm also only bringing 1 SCV instead of 3. That's 17 SCVs. What was my SCV count in the last game? Let me check. So it's like 5 seconds faster, not much faster. But I think my eco felt way better. Yeah, much better. Let's say 505 is when it came out. Yeah, so I mean, it's 5 seconds faster with 2 more workers, which is a huge deal. Like, that's not a small amount better. That's actually way, way better. Because it allows me to pull more SCVs with it. I've had better economy. Yeah, this is just way, way better. You're probably not supposed to 11 gas with 2-fact. You should actually ask somebody, though, that actually does it. Okay. This is a pretty good series. I do feel like overall, like, even when I watch the replay and I feel like I make a million mistakes. Like, I see so many things that I feel like are going wrong, but I do feel like generally I've played a lot better than I had been playing. So overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I might do another one at some point against, like, kind of the next step up, right? Like, Worst has gotten a lot better. I think it was a very good challenge for me and Worst both to play each other like this. I was thinking of doing another one where I'll do like a best of none against someone that's probably going to smash me, like Raz or Ranged or something like this. And I think I can learn a lot playing a series like that. I'll take a second to talk about what we got coming up for my stuff. Starting to lose my voice. I'm not going to play any right now. I might play some later tonight, but I won't be tonight. Or right now, rather. But we're working on kind of a tournament channel. I'll probably start sending invites out relatively soon. But essentially, I'm calling it Aussie's Coliseum. And I'm just going to be doing like show matches and like special events and like tournaments and stuff. And I'm just going to be running a lot of kind of StarCraft content throughout this. And it's going to be a lot of money on the line and all that kind of stuff. Keep it pretty fun. There's going to be like, you know, your normal 1v1 tournaments. I'm going to do BGH 3v3 show matches. We're going to do like kind of the random stuff like Team Melee. Micro fastest tournaments, like things like this. Just like a lot of fun kind of quirky events as well as like legitimate tournaments as well. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. The first thing starts on the, probably it's going to be the 27th. I haven't completely confirmed. It's either going to be the 26th or 27th, but most likely Saturday on the 27th. And it's going to be kind of the beginning of a King of the Hill tournament. I won't go into details exactly what all that entails right now. But, sorry. But, I'm going to start getting invites out to people because I want, like, people there to be able to watch as well. Like, kind of watch the channels and see the events that are going on, even though they're not participating. So probably sometime next week I'm going to start sending all that stuff out and getting people in there. But it will be just a lot of StarCraft content for you guys. But that's all I'm going to do for now. Just wanted to kind of quickly go over these replays. I think there was a lot to learn from this. I feel like I learned, even just watching this now, I guess it took me like an hour and a half to go over it. I feel like I learned a lot as well. So the next step is for me to actually practice, to start implementing what I'm learning. But I'm going to head out for a little bit. Like I said, I don't know for sure if I'll be back later tonight, but if so, it's probably going to be chill. I haven't really felt like laddering or 1v1ing since this match, but I'm starting to feel that itch again. So coming up soon, I guess. But thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. Hope you guys learned something as well.